Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
It is compulsory for a married man to take the consent of his wife and marry the other women, or it is not compulsory? I just wanted to know that.
Sisters ask the question that is it compulsory for a married man to take the permission of the first wife to marry the second wife? Since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the permission for a man to have more than one wife, in Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse number 3, as I mentioned earlier, that married women have a choice in 2s, 3s or 4s. But if you can't do justice, marry only one. So generally, under normal circumstances, permission of the first wife is not required. But if it's mentioned in the Nikah that when the girl and boy get married, man and woman get married, and if the wife puts a criteria, the would-be wife puts a criteria in the Nikah that I'll only marry you under the condition that you do not marry a second wife, then it becomes compulsory that he should take permission. So generally, it's not required. If it's mentioned in Nikah, it becomes fard. But according to me, though it's not compulsory, I feel it is preferable, highly recommended. Fine? But yet not a fard. Even though it's not a fard to take permission, I would say preferable. It is not fard. But I feel it is compulsory that he at least informs the first wife about the second marriage. But if he is married, you cannot keep it a secret. Why? If he keeps it a secret, he cannot do justice between both the wives. Don't keep it a secret from the second wife. Don't keep it a secret from the first wife also. Best is take permission. If you can't, no problem, at least inform. If you can't inform before, at least after marriage you inform. Why? If you do not inform after marriage, and suppose you want to spend a couple of days with your second wife, you tell the first wife, okay, I'm going for business now. Lie. You cannot do justice. You will have to say hundreds of lies. Tension always. Oh, if my first wife comes to know about my second wife. So you see to it that you go in a place where there are no friends who know about it, and then you meet your friends, there is going to be chaos. Inform, let the chaos be when you're informing. Temperature will go up. The temperature will go up and down. Few days, not talking, etc. It will settle down. But if not permission, at least informing according to me is a fard. Because though most of the scholars don't say it is fard to inform. Why do I say? Because the Quran says that if you marry more than one wife, you have to be just between them. Now how can you be just without informing? What you'll do? You'll do injustice to one of them. You spend more time here and less time there. You give more attention to one, depending on who's more demanding. If the second one says, I'm demanding, no, I'll only marry you if you spend 5 days. So you tell your first wife, I'm going 5 days out for business. So there will be lack of trust between the husband and wife. So therefore what my thing is, at least inform and tell the reason that why. And a good Muslimah should not mind that the husband and one wife, for whatever reason, as long as the reason is legitimate. Or maybe the wife did not do a good job of being a wife. Or maybe the wife did a good job and husband was not right. Or she didn't do dawah to him or did not do islah to him, whatever it is. But if not permission, at least informing, I feel is a requirement. Hope that answers the question. Yes, Badarshi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What in a situation where the second wife does not mind you being just to her? Means if she says, no problem, you don't give me any time, no money, everything's okay, I just want you to be the mahram. Okay, so do you have to inform the first wife in that situation? And if you don't, how would be being unjust?
You ask the question, that is the second wife says, I don't mind if you give me less time, do not give me money, do not give me time, only be my mahram. The question of mahram will only come if you give time, na? If you don't give time, then how can you be mahram? For you to be mahram.
According to your choice.
According to your choice, fine. So don't say don't give time, don't give time.
According to, if you want to give fine. one day, 5 days, 3 months to...
No problem. 1 rupee, 1 million rupee, no problem.
No problem.
Fine. So say like that. Don't say no time.
Exactly.
Fine.
That's
okay, fine. So if she's not demanding, I don't mind if you give me less time, I don't mind if you give me less money and all. So is it important to inform the first wife? Yes, I feel yet it is important. Because even if you decide to give 1 day out of 7, yet you will be lying. To give 1 day, what will you tell your first wife? Where are you going if she asks you?
I'll say I'm going to Kerala.
That's it.
Not
I
really.
decide to have a second wife in Kerala.
No.
So then, there'll be chance you'll take white lie, then black lie. So I feel it is the best. But again, even if the second wife says that I don't want more time from you, I feel it's the duty because the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to do just to both. Because it's clearly mentioned in the Quran, Surah Nisa, chapter 4, verse number 3, that marry woman of choice in 2, 3, the 4th, but you can't do just as marry only one. So you have to be just. Yes, further the Quran says in Surah Nisa, chapter 4, verse 129, it is difficult to be just between your wives, so don't turn away from them altogether. That means, in economic terms, you can be just. If you give one Maruti car, one Toyota car to the first wife, give second Toyota car, not one Mercedes and one Toyota. Give both of them equal. Time, if it's little bit disparity, no problem. As you say in Hindi, 19-20 ka farak. Few percent here and there, no problem. When it comes to love, if you are attached to one wife more than the other, like the Prophet also, mashallah, he loves Khadija, may Allah be pleased with the maximum. And Hazrat Aisha after that, after the Khadija expired, may Allah be pleased with them both. That doesn't mean you neglect the other wife. So based on this, I feel that informing, I feel, is compulsory. Yes, brother.
The question is that, if supposing you have to marry a second wife, if you intend to.
Not I.
No, whoever, a brother.
No, he said, if you have to marry, I said, inshallah.
A brother. Inshallah. So.
Everyone is targeting me, huh?
No. The thing is that, what if the sister, if the sister says, okay, you marry me, and before the marriage, she says, you don't have to be just. For example, if the brother cannot afford to take care of her financially or with time, but the sister agrees that no problems, you don't have to take care of me financially exactly the way you take care of the first wife, etc., etc. Is it okay to do that? Is it allowed?
Whether a person is rich or poor is never the criteria to be just. It is more difficult for a rich man to be just than a poor man, actually. A rich man would give a Mercedes to one person and the other may give a Toyota car. Equality is important. So irrespective whether poor or not, money is never the criteria to be just. So irrespective of what you're earning, whether you're earning 5,000 rupees or whether you're earning 5 lakh rupees, 500,000 rupees or 5 million rupees. Justice means equality. Justice doesn't mean that the amount should be such. And there is no reason that only rich people can marry more than one wife or poor cannot. Because the amount required for a person to lead a life is subjective. Some people can lead a very comfortable life even by having 2,000 rupees a month. Some people who earn even 200,000 rupees, they say, I'm so poor, I don't have this, I don't have that. And in our organization, we have people earning few thousand rupees, people earning few lakh rupees, few 100,000 rupees. You may never know the person who's earning 4,000-5,000 rupees is much more satisfied, has a bigger family, than compared to a person who's earning more than 1 lakh rupees also, 100,000 rupees also. From that question.
No, actually, see, what you had promised, sister, that you will give 4,000 rupees. If you had promised about 4,000, correct?
Yes.
And let's say you only made 4,000. And there was another sister who was willing to marry you. Okay, and you only make 4,000, and she wants to marry you because she wants a mahram, she wants somebody to be with her, but money is not an issue. So you cannot give her any money. Can you still marry her, and is it justifiable if it's in the contract before marriage?
Brother is giving information that during one of the marriage preparatory course, I had said that what are the criteria that I had when I spoke to my wife. I said, I told her I'll give you minimum 4,000 rupees. And I said that I'm giving you much more than that, alhamdulillah. So there are chances of decreasing, if I decrease. So I'm giving multiple times more than 4,000 rupees, alhamdulillah. So I can decrease and give you, but taking the situation, whatever the amount is. And suppose you're earning the amount whatever there. So then, for me to inform is important. And say that, can I reduce it by half? Whether she agrees or not is secondary. But if I give a word to someone, is it a contract in Nikah-nama? No. It was just a word I gave. So my duty to follow Allah's commandment is more important than something what I've told. If it's a Nikah-nama contract I've mentioned, it's different. Then I have to keep it. If it's just, okay, fine, I'll give you 4,000 rupees. And now, someone's mother gets sick. And she requires 2,000 rupees every month. What am I going to do? I'm going to let my mother let her die? I don't know if my mother is sick. My intention was to give 4,000 rupees. My mother is sick. And surely a good Muslim, I would agree. Even if she says, no, I want 4,000 rupees. And if I know that a family can even run 1,000, hypothetically, can run in $1,000, whatever it is, if I promise $4,000, what I have to realize that it is a commitment you have made in, but if it's nikah, it's something else. So similarly, irrespective of what it is, whether rich or poor, whatever it is, whether the second wife requires your time or not, on a whole, macroscopically, microscopically there may be difference. Macroscopically, it should be equality. That is what Islam says. She deserves that. She may be willing to give it different. She may be willing to give up is different, but that is your duty. She has a right, and you have to fulfill that thing. Little bit here and there, it's different. Otherwise, equality is a must. Hope that's the question. Otherwise, you won't be called a good husband. She may go to Jannah. Problem of you going to Jannah will be difficult. The beloved Prophet Muhammad said that the best believer is that who is the best to his family, especially his wife. So good to one wife and not to the other. She may sacrifice, she may go to Jannah. What about you? Do you want to go to Jannah or not? So for you to be good, you have to be a good husband. To one wife if you have one, if you have two, to both your wives. So tomorrow your wife says, okay, Arshi, don't offer salah. So what do you say? I won't offer salah. If she says, don't offer salah, no problem. Salah is a fard. It is the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to offer it. It's not as important as being just. It is important. Being just is important. It may not be as important as offering salah. So what she gives you permission is separate. She may be satisfied. She will not curse you. She will do dua for you. But for you to follow the guidelines of Quran and Sunnah, Quran says is very important. Now your plans of marrying second has changed. Yes, sister, most welcome.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My question is a Muslima allowed to marry without a wali?
Is a Muslima allowed to marry without a wali? Wali is a requirement for marriage to solemnize. It's a hadith of the beloved Prophet ﷺ. Yes, there can be occasion that who is preferable to be a wali may not be there. So you cannot marry without a witness. One of the criteria for a marriage to solemnize is 2 witnesses required minimum. And one of them is your wali. That's a different situation, that the best wali that can be is your father. So suppose your father expires, what do you mean? Won't you marry? I'm not getting personal, just general example. Won't you marry? Or maybe a situation, so what I've realized, that then you make a wali who's the closest to you. Or some reason that if he's abroad and he cannot come, he's gone abroad for work and he cannot come, then you can appoint your uncle, you can appoint your brother, whatever it is. But wali, a witness is required. Without witness, a marriage cannot solemnize. So a witness is required, and one happens to be your wali. That's one of the minimum requirements, besides the other thing that you accepting, the girl accepting, the boy accepting, the mayor, etc. Hope that answers the questions.